So here's the video. Who knows what video this is, by the way? This is the Transformers video. Transformers the movie. So before, if this was happening inside a web, it was presented to you in Flash, right? Now I'm going to click down here, and I can move it all around any way I want. I'm just clicking and moving the mouse, and I can do whatever I want with this. See how this starts to get your imagination going about what we can now do inside Firefox 3.1? Here's the source. And you can see that there's just basic, you know, some JavaScript in here, some SVG. We're going through, it's calling the, yeah, that's the .ogg format. See if I can, okay. Now let me show you one more.
So meanwhile, you can also play the audio, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the audio, I mean, this.
Only OGG format and other codecs? I'm guessing it's not possible,
I think right now the only codec is OGG. Fiora and what's the other encoding that should, anyway, OGG is the codec right now. And 3.1. Okay, so here's the last point that sort of brings it all together. This is an example of a video. We just saw the same thing. And it's open format inside the web, inside the browser, but you'll see we've overlaid a bunch of CSS on top of the video. Okay? Has anybody here done anything with CSS before? CSS is a way that people style their websites and web pages. Very standard way for people to make their websites look, you know, different, unique. It stands for cascading style sheets. So let me hit play. So it's the same video. Now watch what I do. How many, inside CSS there's a function called hover, and when you use your mouse to hover over an image, you can make something happen to that image. So watch when I click blur. I can blur that video. Or watch when I click edge. It brings out only the edge. Let me do a zoom here. Or color. Washes out everything with just saturated red colors. So isn't that cool? I mean, we can start to see how people can imagine they can now do things inside this browser in an open way, unlocked, and get really imaginative. This is just with a movie, but when I see these demos and when I think about it, I think of like the gaming industry. Like, how cool, what are some new interesting games that can happen right inside a web browser? Coded with XML, CSS, open video formatting. So this is the power of the open web, and you're starting to see this stuff converge and come together, and we're doing it in Firefox 3.1. Does anyone have any questions right now? Anyone else see any or think of any ideas that you could do with this type of stuff?
How's the performance when you play in the video?
Performance? I mean, pretty good. I mean, this isn't anything but Firefox 3.1. I'm not doing anything different. It's I have the files locally, so that if I didn't have connectivity, I could still demo these. But I don't know what the exact performance is.
Well, I mean, that everybody can play the video, lots of video using the Firefox 3.1 and web smoothly. It's a common configuration of the machine.
Yeah. So I don't know the answer to that. I have not seen on, you know, a machine that's not as maybe speedy or as much whatever processing speed I have with this. I haven't seen it run against other machines, other platforms. So I don't know the answer to that. But it's a good question.
How much is the memory size? Memory. 2 gigabytes or what?
233, maybe. 2.3? I don't know. I'll have to take a look. I'll show you afterward.
Okay.
Do you have a question, idea, comment? Okay. Let's get back to the presentation. So now I'm going to shift gears a little bit, and I'll talk about Firefox in China. This will just be a pretty quick discussion on my part, but I'd like you guys to feel free to contribute anything that you know about the web in China or about Firefox, and help me learn a little bit more through this. Wendy provided me this graph. This shows our growth over time in China with Firefox. I don't know the exact number on the axis there, but you can see there is an upward trend. We are growing here. We're having more and more users. We could get better. We're trying to get better, and we've done some interesting new things like release the Firefox Chinese edition. So, have many of you seen the Firefox Chinese edition? Has anyone seen it? You've seen it? Okay. The intent around the Chinese edition is basically to present Firefox in a way that has some features that maybe are more tailored to a Chinese user. There's some interesting stuff that I learned about the other day. There's a side companion that I know as Magic Mirror, which basically allows you to do a lot of functionality within a website, and then in the sidebar, continuing to do things inside and outside of the page that you're in. It comes bundled with add-ons, and of course it is localized in Chinese. In China now we have Li Gong as our president, and a lot of our Mozilla team here now. So there's Wendy and Amax, Jack. We have about 10 of us in China, in Beijing, working directly with the community. So those of you who are interested in getting involved, these are the people that you should work with directly. They'll be very responsive and give you ideas on exactly where you can get involved with contributing. We also have our localization contributors. In the back is Wen, who has been around for quite a long time. I knew you'd been a localizer for some time, but I just learned today you've been doing this since about 2002.
Yes.
Back in 2002, this is before Firefox even existed, we had what's known as the Mozilla Application Suite. And today it's kind of known as SeaMonkey. And that was Wen's first localization effort, and he's been with us ever since then, helping to bring Firefox to users in China. So a special thank you to Wen and his team with Jin, who helps localize all of the web content. So if you have any interest in helping with translation, please pay a visit over there at the end, or come say hello to me, and we can certainly help figure out a way for you to contribute. Any questions so far? Okay, so here's the next slide that I think I would like to have you guys help me learn a little bit more about the web in China. What I know about the web in China is that it's a little bit more than 250 million people online. The last figure I saw was 253 million users on the web. I'm sure that's growing incredibly every day. Has anyone seen a different figure than that? About 250 million people? And there are 14 million local internet hosts. It's a tremendous, huge number. I mean, there's an amazing number of people online in China, and more people coming on the web. And we want to be able to provide the best, most secure, customizable experience to those users. That's why we're here. We want to promote the web, promote the open web in the most secure fashion available.